Yes, Sony, Nintendo, Sega needs to buy Xbox from Microsoft right now. That's what I've been seeing online because of a post from Valuetainment, which does very little research and doesn't even care. It just says the most popular thing to get comments in a Twitter page. A little bit of clickbait, I would call it, to get more money. You can click on it. It's led to these discussions of Sega, Sony, Nintendo buying it. By the way, I'm gonna tell you the truth. None of them can buy Xbox. Xbox would probably cost $40 billion because $25 billion of money it makes is worth. It'll probably end up being $40 billion because they usually go for about a little bit over 40% of what they naturally make. Companies do. Activision was what, $8 billion, but Activision only made what, $4 or $5 billion, and now Xbox own Activision, so it's $8 billion on top of their already with $20 billion at the time. It's gonna be worth a lot, and then you gotta buy Game Pass. Trust me, it's gonna be $40 billion, and not only that, the legal fights you're gonna have, it's not worth it. So those are like pipe dreams. Because what is Sony only worth? What, $116 billion? So that whole thought process was to evoke y'all having these conversations that's not realistic and not gonna happen. If someone buys it, it'll be some rich company, Tencent, who owns Riot Games. Maybe they buy it, or some other company of that ilk who has a ridiculous amount of money and can afford it. Tencent is not really ownership. But the sale thing is not even true. It's not even real. Because we see in the article right here of Ruder, who actually wrote a real article of what's going on instead of just using headlines based on the story they heard, which most people are using Forbes and this as lines to make up this fake headline to get you to interact, because most people are not going to actually look. But so let's go over it. Microsoft has considered spinning off Xbox, the information report. What is spinning off? It's usually something where you just make it its own company, independent. Xbox has plenty of money to actually go independent, which makes sense what Asher is doing by cutting studios, because if they are to go independent and get spinned off, or partially in a joint venture with Microsoft or something, to make it not where Microsoft has to pay for bills, I can see why she cut studios, because to be honest, they couldn't afford to keep their studios open and making games for the amount of money they was making games for. You cannot. I love Hell's Blade, but you can't make Hell's Blade a 5-hour game for $300 million over 6 years, and we only worth $25 billion. With Microsoft money, with that trillion that Microsoft got back there, yeah, it's easy. You can make whatever you want. We can throw whatever you want at you. It only worth $25 billion. $300 million does hurt. $25 billion. Yeah, so if I only made $25 billion, $300 million on a thing that don't really make me money, kind of hurts. But let me reiterate again: if Microsoft was on it and it was worth 2, 4, 5, $20 trillion, yeah, that's a drop in the bucket. That's nothing. It's easy money. But it's not even a thing right now because, like I said, Bill Gates is out, and I'm pretty sure the new corporate partners want to make as much money using AI as possible. So awesome. Let's actually read this article before we even go into all these other theories. Microsoft is considering options for its Xbox gaming unit, including a potential spinoff or restructuring as a wholly owned subsidiary. The Windows Maker is also weighing options such as creating a joint venture with other partners as it prepares to overhaul the unit, which could make the gaming business easier to sell. Which, that's fair if you have a joint venture. Which, in the end, the joint venture would be to sell it to that partner. That means that partner get to make decisions, see what's going on. Trust me, it won't be Nintendo's. No, it's not. It's not gonna be Nintendo. It's not gonna be Sony. Be some rich billionaire company, probably overseas. Craziness. Because I don't know any American company will buy a $40 billion company. Xbox has struggled in recent years as Microsoft bets on subscription and cloud-based gaming failed to offset declining console sales and shortage of blockbuster titles. Again, Game Pass is the one thing that's in the green for them. There are less sales. I know I see people saying Game Pass is the reason it failed. That's not true. Xbox would know what's selling on Game Pass and what's not, so they would know if it's just the sales or not. You can make the money back on Sony and all that. I don't think you would even go exclusive if that was true. Game Pass is, like I said, when it was $30, considering getting rid of Game Pass. I am a Game Pass owner and a fan of it in some way. At least $30 was too much. That was a bad decision. They lost so much money off that. That 5% they could have got last year when they lost all. I think they lost probably so many people for $30. You lost so much profit off that. I don't even know if they it back. Microsoft operates professional network LinkedIn and software development platform GitHub as wholly owned, subsidized, and model conserved or blueprint of Xbox Unit. GitHub is its own thing. It's still subsidized by Microsoft, but if it fails, it fails. The thing about Xbox right now is it's fully Microsoft. That means Microsoft will just pour money into it. If it's a subsidiary, it would do its own thing and have its own control, and Microsoft wouldn't really have a say in a lot of it. They just be under it. Asha Sharma, who took charge as CEO of the gaming unit in February, plans to increase spending to accelerate development of Xbox titles of its most successful franchises, Halo, Fallout, and Elder Scrolls, the report said. Yeah, the big three. Hopefully it'll make them better. Which is one complaint I have had, that maybe this is a good thing or bad thing for us as the consumer. It's a horrible thing as a human being because people losing their jobs. It's not even pretend like that. As a business model, we don't know yet. And as a fan base, we don't know yet. If it's more structured and they know what they want and they give what they want and they put more money into it and just not farming money so people can get paid easily, it could be a better product for us as fans. We don't know yet. So if we get a better Fallout, a better Elder Scrolls, a better next Halo, would that not be worth it? Unfortunately, people have to lose their jobs and Microsoft have to focus because instead of having their hands in everything, they have their hands on what's important to them. So would you get better games than just throwing out a lot of games? Maybe. Maybe you don't get a Redfall, which I just read a report that was from a while ago that Microsoft said, hey, make this game like this, and then left them alone. That's a report I've seen a lot, that Microsoft just says throws money at people and leaves them alone. So that's a problem. So maybe they'd be like, okay, we're here. We're in this process with you. We're paying you this money. We're going to let you look at it because we don't have 50,000 different studios that we just bought and have to pay attention. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella and Finance Chief Amy Hood have approved Sharma's plan to boost spending on top-tier gaming development for the fiscal year starting in July, but the budget has not been finalized and can still change, the report said. Microsoft did not immediately respond to Reuter's request for comment. On Wednesday, Bloomberg reported that Microsoft Xbox is planning major layoffs next month, significant cuts in marketing and other budgets, marking the first major restructuring to Sharma. Actually, they didn't really give us a thing that they're considering. They are. I'm pretty sure they are considering it. That don't mean it's going to happen. It's most likely going to be a subsidiary like GitHub or a joint venture. It could be a sale. Like I said, I know that pipe dream that it's going to be Nintendo. Somehow y'all think Sega's going to buy it. That was the most confusing one to me. How do you expect Sega to buy this? That was by far the most confusing thing to me on what y'all thought was going to happen. Like, what is Sega's net worth? Let's look at this together. What is Sega's net worth? Sega's net worth. Their net worth is $2.73 billion. How would they buy something that's worth $40 million? It's worth $25 million, but it will sell for probably $40, $35 million. Nintendo's net worth is $50 billion. How would they buy something that costs as much as their whole platform? How would they do that? I get it. I get the little fantasy thing, but that confused me. And that led me to go look for this article to figure out a little bit more information so I can keep at least the people that watch me informed. But yeah, I doubt Xbox will get sold anytime soon. Project Helix will be out. Ashley gonna restructure. They're gonna see it. Microsoft gonna see if it works. Because like I said, Microsoft, they approved the budget to make the big games work, and then they are going with the firing so they can have more money for the big game. They're gonna see if that works. And then if it doesn't, the way Microsoft wants, they probably will make it a subsidiary. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna be probably profitable if they do it the right way and the games hit. If the games don't hit, don't matter. If the games don't hit, it probably end up being a joint venture and eventually a 2035 or something like that sold away. Your thoughts? I actually believe Nintendo, who's worth 50 billion, Sega somehow worth 2 billion, and Sony, who's worth $150 billion, and kind of in a little debt, can afford this. Let me know your thoughts on this. Make sure you like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we can keep having these if you like. This is Dale's theory on the gaming universe. I appreciate y'all.